if we were to analyze objectively the recent polls, and when you look at William Ruto, who prides himself as a man who came into power, or rather who forgets that he never came to power by a popular vote, trailing or rather leading at 24%, it tells you that Kenyans are more conscious about their economic status, political status, and social status. Reasonably, because these are some of the reasons that will make an individual popular or unpopular. So a vote of 24% against Mr. William Ruto, it tells you that there is a majority of Kenyans who are so much discontented in the manner in which he is misgoverning the country. You know, the unfortunate thing that, or rather the unfortunate thing and trap that Mr. William Ruto ran into was to think that he was a very popular president as at 2022. He forgot that he got into power by a very small margin of 200,000 votes. So he began priding himself as a very popular president, forgetting that he won narrowly. Now, this 24% performance is an issue that indicates that the country is going on the wrong trajectory, be it economically, socially, and politically. It tells you that he has lost support of over 66% of the Kenyans. And that's a big number. And even if you were to say that he was not to attain 100% popularity, significantly...
Again, the point of information is 76%, not the 60.
Thank you 76. So much. He has lost 76% of the support of the country. So let us not look at what he garnered. Let us look at what he has lost. And even if we were to assume that mathematically or projectively he was not to garner 100%, it tells you that he has lost. Even if you were to see to it that perhaps the voting pattern would be 50% voters turnout, he has lost 26% vote turnout. If we were to do an election and assuming that the election voter turnouts would be 50%, that tells you that Mr. William Ruto's policies are not aligned with the people. And of course, there are various reasons that has made him become this unpopular. One of the reasons that has made William Ruto become this unpopular is a question of killing young people, the Gen Z, the question of corruption, which since he ever came into power, has never, ever taken time to address. For the last 3 years or so, that Mr. William Ruto has been the unfortunate president of this country, he has never, ever mentioned the word corruption. To him, corruption never exists. It only existed during the time of Uhuru Kenyatta.
Again, let me ask you, if you are the chief corrupter, or the chief...
Libal, can we speak on this issue of Polster?
Why would you mention it?
Thank you for the information. And I think
we also want to contribute to this.
I think Fred is right. I don't think we are opening the debate. Ndegwa, my good friend Wakili, when we are on this matter, why don't we just stick to the...
Let's stick to the matter.
And then, because
Prof, I understand you, Professor Law, and I'm well guided, even be my senior. I was just trying to expound on the reason why William Ruto is 76% unpopular.
We cannot have a presidency or regime that doesn't respect life. It doesn't matter who you killed. We are going to be against you. I mean, I would want to see our politics grow and mature to the level where if my friend Ndegwa Njiru ends up in the next government, for example, and that is likely to happen, and what I would call, Senator Dan Maanzo, we are not going to just sit there and say, oh, it is President this and this, and we came into power together, so you can do whatever you want. You can't do whatever you want. You have a responsibility why you are brought up. I can't hawk and give my brains and and the love for the country just because you are the president. I mean, if you're doing something wrong, I'll call you out and I'll say this is wrong, and this is why I say this. This is why I'm thinking that way. So finally, the presidential vote in Kenya is, unfortunately, regionally controlled, regionally determined. And for those who are very comfortable in terms of the position that William Ruto is holding right now, you do not really understand how in the past people have voted for the president. I mean, if you understand that without a certain region, you have lost a number of votes that ends up in your ballot. That is why it is eminent for the people who are supporting William Ruto to know that one of the reasons why William Ruto is going to lose is because he has let go the support of some of the regions that propelled him into power, including Mount Kenya. And when you look at what it is that we would call, the competition, the Azimio at that time, whom had a very fierce competition against William Ruto, and only 200,000 votes separated them. It did not remain as it was. We are seeing the eastern, that is the Ukambani has left. You can see where the region alienation is. You can hear from Kisii region what is happening during the Senator Onyoka's mother's burial. We are seeing what is happening within the Western people. They are waking up and realizing that, wait a minute, we have one of our own that we can place on that high table. I mean, if you want to ignore that and stick your mind into the love of the person you want to support, you are not in this competition. You are ultimately going to lose it looking at it in the eye. And as Dan Manzo have said, you can't steal these votes. So whether you want to say, we have won this number of by-elections, which were happening local. By-elections are so local. They contribute into the perception of the main thing. It is a build-up. By-elections are a build-up of what I would call, the general election. But there is one thing I need to tell you for a fact, that if you want to ignore regional, what I would call regional perception, regional, agitation towards this presidency, then that means you already setting up yourself for a failure. And that is why there is trouble in the camp of William Ruto come 2027. He is going to lose this because he's losing regions that were supposed to be in his quota. When you go to ODM, why are you letting ODM let go Western? Why are you letting ODM let go Kambani? And you still want to assume you're in control. You are not. You're going to lose that election because presidential election is regionally controlled. I yield.
Thank you.
Some of these opinion polls have not been able to position the united alternative government. It is because they have not picked their candidate. Once we will be able to compare likes for likes in terms of not jangle things around on Kalonzo, on Matiang'i, on Sifuna, it is all over the place. But once we are able to say that it is President William Ruto versus who, we are actually going to see something very interesting in terms of what kind of an opinion we are going to, because Kenyans are going to be able to say, who are we looking up against?
What is happening? Time is really ticking away.
Hold on, Diba. I do not sit on a table where that decision is being made, but I'm just giving an opinion based on what it is that people who are doing opinion polls are able to correct out there. You're able to correct a William Ruto presidency in terms of defending a seat against possibilities of many others that obviously each is bringing in their strength. But once the United Alternative Government is able to give that particular person with whom is going to face William Ruto and make him, and make him one-term president, then we're going to be able to weigh the weight of that particular person. And it is not good for Fred to come and compare that some people died here, so it's a justification of this one killing this one. I mean, what kind of an argument is that? We can't put that kind of an argument. Two wrongs doesn't make any right.